Have you ever felt it? That strange certainty that your phone will ring, that someone you've been thinking about is about to reach out, as if your thoughts themselves were whispering through the air. You glance at the clock, your heart steady but alert. 3 minutes, you think, and somehow, you just know. Whether it's coincidence, intuition, or something far deeper, in that moment you're standing at the edge between the visible world and the unseen forces that connect us all. Synchronicity is one of Carl Jung's most mysterious and profound ideas, a concept that bridges psychology and the unseen patterns of the universe. When you feel that someone will call you, and moments later the phone rings, you may think it's coincidence, or perhaps imagination playing tricks. Yet Jung believed such experiences carry meaning. He described synchronicity as a meaningful coincidence, an alignment between inner states and outer events that cannot be explained by cause and effect. It is as if the universe, in those moments, speaks the same language as your emotions, translating the invisible world of thought and feeling into physical form. To understand synchronicity, we must first recognize that the psyche and the world are not separate. Jung saw the human mind as part of a larger order, what he called the collective unconscious, a realm of shared symbols, archetypes, and universal patterns that link all beings. When the conscious and unconscious mind align, and when emotion and intention move in harmony, the external world often mirrors that alignment. It might appear random, but to the psyche, it is not. The phone ringing at the precise moment you think of someone is not just a trivial event. It is a sign that your inner and outer realities are temporarily resonating at the same frequency. This experience does not depend on belief. Whether you are skeptical or open, the psyche operates in its own language. Synchronicities often arise during heightened emotional states, times of love, loss, or deep contemplation, when the unconscious becomes active and reaches out toward the world. Jung observed that these moments often occur when the soul is seeking confirmation or connection, when something deep within is ready to be realized in the outer world. They serve as symbols of the unity between mind and matter, between your inner image of the person and the mysterious web of life that surrounds you. When you say, "I feel he will call," that feeling is not always fantasy or wishful thinking. It may arise from an intuitive awareness beyond logic, a sensing of energy or meaning that precedes physical manifestation. The psyche moves first, the world follows. Jung believed that the universe contains a causal connecting principle, meaning that not everything is driven by cause and effect. Some events are connected by meaning alone, not by physical chain reactions. When you think of someone intensely, it may not cause them to call, but it may create a field of shared meaning where both of your psyches respond to the same invisible current. Synchronicity also reminds us that reality is symbolic. Every event carries not just a literal, but also a psychological significance. The call that comes might not only be about communication, it may symbolize reconnection, emotional closure, or the awakening of intuition within you. When the psyche wishes to express something, it often does so through outer symbols that echo inner truths. The ringing phone, the unexpected message, the chance encounter, all of these can be viewed as mirrors reflecting the unconscious into the visible world. Modern science may not yet fully explain synchronicity, but in the symbolic world of the psyche, it makes perfect sense. Jung often noted that people who experience synchronicity feel a sense of awe or mystery, as if they have momentarily stepped outside the ordinary boundaries of time and space. This numinous feeling, the sense that something larger is at work, helps the individual feel connected to a greater order. It is not superstition. It is a psychological recognition of meaning woven into the fabric of existence. The key is to observe these moments without forcing them. The law of attraction often emphasizes intention and desire, but Jung's perspective adds depth. True manifestation occurs not through control, but through alignment. When your inner world becomes clear, when you release fear and allow emotion to flow freely, the universe seems to respond naturally. Synchronicities then appear, not because you commanded them, but because your psyche and the world are speaking the same symbolic language. So when the thought arises, "In 3 minutes he will call," you do not need to believe or disbelieve. Simply watch. The moment itself may hold more significance than the outcome. Whether the phone rings or not, you have entered into awareness of the hidden dialogue between the inner and outer worlds. You have glimpsed the mystery Jung devoted his life to exploring, the meeting point between psyche and matter, where meaning, not logic, governs the dance of existence. Projection is one of the central ideas in Jungian psychology, and understanding it can transform how we interpret experiences like sensing that someone is thinking of us or feeling that they will soon call. Jung explained projection as a process in which the human mind unconsciously casts parts of itself, feelings, desires, fears, or ideals, onto other people. When you feel strongly connected to someone, the emotions you experience may not entirely belong to them. They are often reflections of what exists within your own psyche. The person becomes a mirror, carrying qualities that your unconscious is trying to reveal to you. When you believe that you can sense another person's thoughts or emotions, it may be that your psyche has projected your own inner image of them into the outer world. You are, in a sense, communicating with a living symbol of your own soul. Jung called this inner opposite the anima in men and the animus in women. Archetypal figures that represent the qualities of our unconscious we have not yet integrated. The feelings we experience toward another person often express our relationship to these inner figures rather than the literal reality of the person themselves. This is why attraction, longing, or obsession can feel so powerful. They touch the deep currents of our unconscious life. When you feel that he will call you, the sensation may be the psyche's way of expressing an inner need for contact, not necessarily from that person, but from the part of you that he represents. You have projected a portion of your emotional energy onto him, and that projection now seems to move between you as if it has its own life. The law of attraction often describes energy moving outward to attract what matches it, but Jung would say that much of this process is psychological. What we experience as attraction in the outer world is often the psyche drawing us toward our own hidden material. The other person becomes the stage on which our unconscious drama unfolds. Projection serves an important purpose. It allows the unconscious to reveal itself in a form we can interact with. Through relationships, we come to see what we have repressed, denied, or idealized. The qualities we admire in others often reflect our own unrealized potential, and the traits we dislike mirror the parts of ourselves we have rejected. When we think we are connecting deeply with another, it may be that we are being invited to meet ourselves. In that sense, every relationship is a form of inner communication, every emotional reaction a message from the soul. This understanding does not mean that real connection between people does not exist. Jung did not deny that there can be authentic bonds, energetic resonance, or even telepathic sensitivity, but he emphasized that before we can know whether an experience is truly shared, we must first explore what it means psychologically. The feeling that he will call may be real, but its meaning may be symbolic rather than literal. It may reflect your readiness to face something within yourself, perhaps a longing for reassurance, a fear of abandonment, or an awakening of love that transcends the individual. Projection becomes problematic when we mistake it for reality and try to control the outer person according to the inner image. Jung encouraged awareness instead of suppression. When you realize that your mind projects meaning onto others, you begin to reclaim your energy. You start to see how your thoughts and emotions shape the reality you experience. This awareness deepens self-understanding and weakens the unconscious hold of projection. The world becomes a mirror through which the soul communicates, not a battlefield of unmet expectations. In this light, the law of attraction and Jung's theory of projection are closely related. Both suggest that our inner world shapes what we experience outside. The difference lies in the level of consciousness. The law of attraction often focuses on desire, what we want to bring into existence, while Jung focuses on integration, what we need to become whole. When you project your own inner energy onto another, it may manifest as attraction, coincidence, or communication, but its deeper purpose is to bring you into contact with your hidden self. So when you sense that he will call, pause and listen not only to the outer possibility, but also to what that feeling reveals about your inner world. It may be your own heart reaching out, seeking recognition. The projection acts like a signal from the depths of the psyche, reminding you that what you seek in another often lives within you. By understanding this process, you begin to withdraw projections, reclaim your power, and form connections that are rooted not in illusion, but in conscious awareness. Belief, in the Jungian sense, is not the central force that moves the psyche. The unconscious does not rely on conviction or doubt to operate. It functions according to its own laws, independent of what the conscious mind accepts or rejects. When we speak about the law of attraction, it is often said that one must believe completely in order for something to manifest. But Jung's perspective offers a subtler truth. The psyche is not bound by belief. It moves through feeling, energy, and symbolic alignment. Even disbelief carries psychic power, because what truly matters is not what the intellect thinks, but what the emotional and unconscious energies are doing beneath the surface. The human mind exists on multiple levels. The conscious mind questions, analyzes, and tries to control outcomes, while the unconscious mind silently shapes patterns and experiences that emerge into life. You may doubt that someone will call, yet deep within, another part of you may already be preparing for contact. The unconscious holds an immense creative potential that operates beyond reasoning. Its symbols, emotions, and intuitions form the hidden architecture of reality. Jung suggested that when this deeper layer of mind aligns with external conditions, coincidences of meaning, what he called synchronicities, appear. They are not caused by belief, but by resonance between inner and outer worlds. This means that even if you tell yourself you do not believe, your psyche still speaks to the universe through its emotional language. The unconscious mind listens to feeling, not logic. A passing thought tinged with longing, a quiet image in your imagination, or a surge of emotion. These are the true messengers that communicate with the field of life around you. Belief is a surface phenomenon. Emotion and imagination are the deeper ones. When your emotional energy becomes coherent, the world seems to respond, not because you have forced it to, but because you have tuned into the same frequency as the event you anticipate. Jung often emphasized that the unconscious is autonomous. It has its own will, its own rhythm, and it operates independently from the ego's desires. Sometimes, what you consciously want and what your unconscious intends are not the same. You may think, he will never call, and yet something inside you holds an image of reconnection, a quiet openness that continues to vibrate in the background of your awareness. The unconscious acts through such imagery, through what Jung called psychic energy or libido, which does not vanish because the ego refuses to believe. Like a river flowing beneath frozen ice, it continues to move until it finds an outlet into the visible world. In Jung's view, disbelief is not an obstacle but an attitude of the ego, a protective layer against the unknown. The unconscious does not take offense at disbelief. It continues to manifest symbols, dreams, and coincidences to express what needs to be realized, Many people experience moments when what they rejected as impossible suddenly happens, revealing that reality itself is more fluid and responsive than the rational mind allows. These experiences often carry a numinous quality, a feeling of mystery and awe, reminding us that we are not entirely in control, yet we are deeply connected to an unseen order. The law of attraction teaches that faith and belief create reality, but Jung's insight goes deeper. It is the alignment between the conscious and the unconscious that gives rise to transformation. When belief and feeling oppose each other, the stronger of the two determines what manifests. If your emotions are filled with fear, doubt, or longing, those feelings hold the psychic charge that influences experience more powerfully than surface belief. The unconscious does not distinguish between positive or negative thoughts. It moves with the energy that carries the most intensity. To understand this, imagine two currents within you. The conscious one that says, "I don't believe," and the unconscious one that whispers, "But I want this to happen." The second current often holds more power because it is tied to the emotional truth of your being. Manifestation, or synchronicity, arises when this deeper current finds expression in the outer world. Jung would not say you create reality by belief alone, but that you participate in the unfolding of reality through the symbolic conversation between inner and outer realms. So you do not have to force belief for something to occur. The psyche does not need permission from the conscious mind to express its meaning. The unconscious follows the law of its own necessity, responding to emotion, image, and symbolic readiness. Whether you believe or not, life continues to mirror the state of your inner world. The events that unfold are reflections of what lies within, not rewards for belief or punishments for doubt. The true mystery is that the universe seems to listen not to what you think, but to what your soul feels most deeply. And when that feeling aligns with the larger order, reality begins to echo it back to you in ways that defy explanation. Energy follows attention is a phrase that expresses one of the most profound truths about the human psyche and how reality responds to consciousness. Carl Jung understood that whatever the mind focuses upon becomes charged with psychic energy. Attention is not merely mental observation, it is a form of subtle creation. When you direct your awareness toward a thought, a person, or a feeling, you infuse that object with vitality, and in return, it begins to shape your perception of the world. The psyche is not passive. It is a living field of energy that interacts continuously with both the conscious mind and the outer environment. Jung believed that the psyche possesses a kind of inner current, which he called libido, not in the narrow sense of sexual energy, but as the creative life force that animates all psychic activity. This energy flows wherever attention is placed. When you repeatedly think of someone, when your emotions revolve around their image, you are unconsciously sending energy toward that psychic representation. It becomes more vivid, more emotionally alive, and begins to occupy space not only in your thoughts, but also in the deeper layers of your unconscious. This is why strong focus often leads to synchronicities. The outside world seems to mirror what is most alive within your mind. In daily life, this principle explains why what we fear often appears to chase us, and what we love tends to move closer. The psyche, by directing energy through attention, colors perception and experience. If your mind constantly revisits the thought, "He will call," you are energizing that expectation. The unconscious, sensitive to emotional charge, may begin aligning inner and outer circumstances in subtle ways that make such an event more likely. It is not magic, it is the psychology of energy. Jung saw that the boundary between thought and matter is thinner than most imagine, and that focused psychic energy can participate in shaping outer reality through meaning rather than force. Attention also carries moral and spiritual weight. Jung observed that when people fixate on a single desire or obsession, the rest of the psyche begins to wither. Energy withdrawn from other aspects of life leads to imbalance. But when attention is given consciously, without attachment or fear, energy circulates freely, nurturing creativity and growth. This is why mindfulness and imagination have such power. To imagine with feeling is to place attention in the realm of potential, to activate an image in the unconscious so that it may later appear in outer form. Many people who practice visualization or the law of attraction are unknowingly using this Jungian principle. They are giving shape and vitality to inner symbols through focused awareness. Jung warned, however, that attention must be conscious and balanced. Unconscious attention, when you dwell obsessively on someone or something, can drain energy from your own development. The more you project energy outward, the more you lose contact with your center. In relationships, this often manifests as emotional dependency or idealization. You might believe that you are attracting the other person, but in truth, you are nourishing a psychic image rather than a living connection. To redirect attention inward is to reclaim energy from projection and begin the process of individuation, the path toward wholeness that Jung described as the true purpose of human life. Every thought carries a subtle vibration, and attention is what amplifies it. This is why awareness itself is transformative. To become conscious of what you are giving energy to is to regain creative control over your experience. If your focus is rooted in fear, you strengthen the pattern of fear. If it rests in calm expectation or openness, you strengthen alignment with peace. Jung would say that attention is the bridge through which psychic energy flows between the inner and outer worlds. What you attend to becomes psychologically real, and in time, the outer world begins to mirror that inner reality through events and synchronicities. When you focus deeply on the idea that he will call, you are not merely waiting, you are participating in a subtle psychological process. Your thoughts, emotions, and imagery form a field that resonates with the collective unconscious, the larger web of human connection. Within that field, attention acts like gravity. It draws similar energies toward itself. Even if the call does not arrive, the act of sustained attention has already shaped your inner landscape. It has awakened feeling, anticipation, and perhaps even transformation. In the end, Jung's insight reminds us that energy is obedient to consciousness. The universe, or what he might call the greater self, responds not to wishful thinking, but to focused awareness infused with emotion and meaning. Attention is creative because it aligns psychic energy with purpose. What you feed with thought grows. What you neglect fades. To direct attention wisely is to engage consciously with the unfolding of your own destiny, recognizing that the mind is not separate from the world it perceives, but a vital participant in its continual creation. The law of attraction and Jung's process of individuation share a hidden foundation. Both are about alignment between the inner and outer worlds. Most people think of manifestation as a way to attract things they desire, a person, success, or circumstance. Yet from a Jungian view, attraction is not about forcing reality to give you what you want, but allowing what belongs to your psychological wholeness to find its way toward you. The psyche is always moving toward balance and completeness. When your conscious desires harmonize with your unconscious truth, outer life begins to mirror that harmony. This is not the result of command or belief alone. It is the expression of inner coherence. Jung saw the human psyche as a vast landscape divided between the conscious ego and the deeper unconscious, which holds forgotten memories, archetypes, and potentials waiting to be realized. Individuation is the journey through which a person integrates these hidden aspects, becoming whole rather than fragmented. The law of attraction, when understood through Jung's lens, is not a formula for control, but a mirror reflecting the degree of this inner integration. You do not attract what you wish for. You attract what you are, or more precisely, what you are ready to confront and embrace. When you desire that someone calls you, that wish may arise from longing, insecurity, or love. The universe does not respond merely to words or affirmations, but to the underlying energy, the emotion and meaning carried by your desire. Jung would say that the unconscious interprets these emotions symbolically. The person you want to hear from might symbolize a part of yourself seeking recognition. The act of waiting for their call becomes a living metaphor for the deeper call of your own psyche asking for attention. Manifestation, in this light, is a dialogue between you and your inner world. The law of attraction teaches focus and visualization, but Jung would add that every image you hold carries psychic energy. When you imagine connection, healing, or love, you awaken those qualities within your unconscious. The image becomes a seed, and if it matches the truth of your being, it begins to grow naturally into outer experience. But if the image conflicts with your authentic self, if it is driven by ego or denial, it rarely manifests in a lasting way. The unconscious resists what does not serve the wholeness of the individual. This is why people sometimes attract experiences that challenge them rather than please them. Life mirrors not only desires but also the lessons needed for growth. In Jungian thought, every desire contains both a conscious and an unconscious motive. You may consciously want someone to return your call, yet unconsciously need closure, self-worth, or independence. The psyche arranges experiences to fulfill the deeper need, even if it contradicts the surface desire. The law of attraction seen this way becomes less about external outcomes and more about inner alignment. When your inner world is divided, manifestations appear inconsistent. When your inner world is integrated, synchronicities arise naturally because your energy and purpose move in the same direction. Individuation is the process of becoming aware of these hidden motives and reconciling them. It involves facing the shadow, the parts of the psyche that have been denied or repressed, and integrating them into consciousness. As you become more whole, your external life begins to reflect that wholeness. What you attract shifts from what you think you need to what truly resonates with your authentic self. The law of attraction then becomes a spiritual principle rather than a mechanical one. It reveals that life itself responds to psychological truth, not fantasy. Jung often wrote that the outer world is a symbolic expression of the inner state. Relationships, opportunities, and challenges are mirrors through which the unconscious becomes visible. When you attract certain experiences, it is the psyche's way of showing you where you stand in relation to your own growth. If you keep attracting unavailable people, for instance, it may symbolize the parts of yourself you have not yet made available to your own awareness. The universe does not punish or reward, it reflects. Through this reflection, individuation unfolds. From this perspective, the phrase, "you don't have to believe it," gains deeper meaning. Belief alone cannot create alignment, authenticity does. When your thoughts, emotions, and deeper truths move together, the universe responds in kind. Manifestation happens not because you force it, but because you have become inwardly ready for it. The call you wait for might come when you least expect it, or it may not come at all, yet through the process you discover something far greater, a reconciliation between your conscious self and the deeper intelligence guiding your life. The law of attraction, in Jungian language, is the psyche's instinct toward unity expressed through experience. The outer events you attract are symbols of what your inner world is learning to integrate. When you align with that truth, attraction ceases to be a technique and becomes a way of being. Individuation, then, is not separate from manifestation. It is its highest form, the realization that the universe does not simply respond to your will, but collaborates with your becoming. When Jung spoke of symbols, he meant more than poetic images or abstract ideas. To him, a symbol was the living bridge between the conscious and the unconscious, a form through which deeper truths communicate themselves to the waking mind. The call you are waiting for, the phone ringing, the name flashing on the screen, is not merely an external event, but a potential symbol of something unfolding within your psyche. The psyche expresses itself in images and events that reflect its inner condition, and when a symbol appears in outer life, it often signals a psychological shift. The symbol of the call may represent reunion, understanding, emotional reconciliation, or the awakening of an inner connection long ignored. When you sense that someone will call and that intuition feels charged with emotion, the experience is not necessarily coincidence. Jung would say that it is numinous, a moment where meaning floods reality, making the ordinary feel sacred. Whether the call happens or not, the moment of anticipation itself is meaningful. It mirrors the readiness of the psyche to make contact with something lost or suppressed within. In this way, the external symbol of a call becomes an inner invitation. The psyche is asking you to listen, not only to the world outside, but also to the subtle messages rising from your unconscious. The unconscious communicates through symbols because it cannot speak in the language of logic. It expresses itself through dreams, coincidences, and emotions that carry symbolic weight. When the symbol of the call appears, it might not simply signify another person's attention. It might represent your own desire to connect with your neglected self, your intuition, or your creative voice. Jung often described how the soul uses outer events to bring inner material to consciousness. The psyche arranges circumstances that mirror psychological truths, guiding you toward greater awareness. Symbols hold power because they evoke emotion and meaning at once. The call, for instance, can symbolize many things depending on your inner state: a longing for love, a need for closure, or even the awakening of your inner voice after silence. What matters is not whether the call literally happens, but how you interpret its symbolism. Every manifestation, every synchronicity is an opportunity for reflection. The outer world provides metaphors through which the unconscious reveals itself. Jung called this the objective psyche, the part of the mind that interacts directly with reality, shaping it according to inner meaning rather than conscious intention. In the law of attraction, symbols also play a hidden role. Visualization techniques rely on symbolic imagination. When you picture something vividly, you create a psychic image that gathers emotional energy, and this energy becomes magnetic. Jung's theory complements this idea but gives it deeper grounding. The image is not a tool to manipulate reality, but a form of dialogue between you and the unconscious. When you imagine a call, you are not just asking for it. You are symbolically preparing your psyche for connection, healing, and communication. The outer manifestation, if it occurs, simply reflects that inner readiness. The psyche often chooses symbols that are familiar, personal, and emotionally charged. For someone who feels isolated, a ringing phone can represent the breaking of silence, the restoration of belonging. For another, it may symbolize confrontation or truth. The unconscious tailors each symbol to the individual's journey. Jung believed that ignoring these symbols weakens the connection between the conscious and the unconscious, while acknowledging them strengthens self-understanding. The world, in this view, becomes an ongoing dream in which every event can be read as a message from the deeper self. When you recognize life's events as symbolic rather than random, you move into a more meaningful relationship with existence. The world stops being a place of blind coincidence and becomes a mirror of the soul's unfolding. You begin to see that what appears outside is inseparable from what lives within. The call, then, is not only about another person, but about your own capacity to receive, to open yourself to guidance, emotion, and intuition. This symbolic awareness transforms how you experience manifestation itself. It no longer feels like control or chance, but like participation in a living conversation between psyche and universe. Jung's view of symbols helps explain why belief is secondary and why attention carries creative power. The psyche speaks through imagery and emotion, not argument or proof. When a symbol emerges, it draws your awareness toward what needs to be seen. The phone call you wait for becomes a sacred metaphor of communication between levels of being, the conscious waiting to hear from the unconscious, the individual longing to connect with the larger pattern of life. Whether or not the literal event happens, the meaning remains real, for it belongs to the eternal language of symbols through which the soul calls itself into awareness.